Hello and welcome to my final project. This is my final project here, and I called it Mo's Mowing Calculator, and it's just a lawn mowing service. So what we have here is an image button. See right here. And what should happen when we click on this image button? We should be able to lawn. It's a command called lawn. What that command should do, it should open up another screen. And we actually coded that code in the Java. You can see right here. We call public void lawn, which is the command, intent I, new intent, this lawn cost. So what it should do is open up lawn cost, which is this screen right here, and then it would start the activity. So that means it would make an intent and then start that intent. So let's go there. This is a lawn area calculator, and you can see we have about 3 buttons right here, all these 3. And what they should do is the first one, which is the rectangle one, should be on click rectangle. And what that should do is it should open up the rectangle. It's the same code as the other one. So let's look at it. Here we have rectangle right here, public void rectangle. And this is the same as in our main activity. It just creates an intent to open up a rectangle lawn, and then starts the activity I. So let's go over to that rectangle lawn. So this is my rectangle lawn calculator, and you can see we have 2 text views and 2 edit views too. So these 2 edit views are going to be the main input methods. I changed the input type to number decimal for both of them. You could just do number, but I just decided to do number decimal, but you could just do integer. Here we just gave them ID. Let's see here, and a hint. This hint is what's being said right here. Width and feet, numbers only. So what I want this to do is I want to be able to multiply these 2 numbers and change that into acres, because this is in feet. Feet does not translate into acres really well. So let's check out our rectangle lawn code. This is the rectangle lawn code. You can see we get a name for all of our views by doing the view.id by ID. And then here we change them all to doubles, and then multiply A times B. And A is actually the length, and B is the width. And that's why C is just C equals A times B. D is how we convert it to acres. Since we know that every feet needs to be divided by this number right here to be changed into acres. So let's check that out right now. This is my calculator. So it says about like 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet. Let's calculate that. 22.956 acres. So now it works, you can see. We go back, we can go to circular lawn. This is in radius. Let's check it out in our code first, so we get a better understanding. So we go to circle. This is how it looks like. And we can check out what we've done. So we have one edit text view. This is the same as the other one, number decimal. And if we go to check out the code, this is a bit more difficult since we had to change it to a float to make it multiply by the math pi. So we did double d equals square, and this just changed d equals square. And square is actually just a float of 1, so we can use it in math. So we actually changed d equals input value times math pi divided by 43.6, which is how to convert to acres. So let's check out what input value is. So you see here, float input value equals float dot parse float radius. All this code right here just is only getting the text from the edit text view, which is right here, and converts it into a float that we can use in math. So now this makes more sense because we changed d into the input value times itself, because the formula is r squared times pi. That's why we also have this math.pi here to multiply by the radius. And then on the outside, we just divide by 43.56.0 to get into acres. And then we set the total. This total is actually the text view's name. And then it just sets it to that. So let's check it out now. Let's say our radius is about 500. And it says here 18.03026 acres. And here in our triangular lawn, you can see we have 3 different sides. So this might be a little confusing, so let's just go over it in the XML again. So here in our XML, we have 3 edit text. We gave them the name first, second, and third. Also changed the input type to decimal. And let's check out the code. So this is the code here for the Java. You can see we did the same here as we did in the circle lawn. We gave them all names and set them to something. Here we also set a bunch of doubles to squares, which is the float of 1 again, and we just multiplied them all. And we get the float number from this command, float first equals float.parse first. And this just gets the number from the edit text and changes it into a float. The same here with the second. Changes it to float. Same with the third, changes it to a float. Then we set s equal to first plus second plus third divided by 2. So what that means is we get the first number from the first edit text, the second number from the second edit text, and the third number from the third edit text, and then add them all up and divide by 2, and that's how we get our s. And here we're actually doing Heron's theorem just to get it working. And then we can do area equals math, not square root. And this is just the equation, how to do it. After that, we get the number. We just set the total, which is the text view, to that number. So let's check it out in our emulator now. Say the first side is 100, second side is 100, maybe 150. You can see that is a really small amount in acres, and the reason why it's really small is because 100 feet by 100 feet by 150 feet is not that big. It's actually insanely small in acres, especially since this is only in feet right here. So I'm just going to show you some of our commits now in our Git Kraken. Our initial commit, you can see there's nothing in it. We don't have anything. And then in our second one, we finally added the code. This is where we set up everything. And for add image and cost calculator, you can see we changed some stuff. And what this actually is us just adding the picture here, and also changing a lot of the code in the Java. You can see right here, which is the first intent that we start opening. Here in our checkbox, this was an old idea that I was going to do. I was going to change it to text boxes, but that didn't work. See, this is the code I didn't use though. Here in our added new screens, I added all of our new screens, which is the circle, the rectangle, the lawn cause, and the triangle. They're all the same. Here we added some Java code to our rectangle lawn, and we finally got it to work. I wouldn't say it could work, but we were trying to get it to work. In our finished square lawn, we finally found out how to finish it, our rectangle. So you can see here, our code is the same as the one in our Android Studios. But we also start working on the circle lawn here. You can see I still didn't fix it up because it's still in integer mode. It should be in float, but I didn't change it yet. Here we start changing the integer to float for circle lawn, and this makes it so we can actually do some math. I still had some errors popping up, so I decided to commit this so I can save it for later. Here in our finished circle lawn, we finally finished it, and I found out what the error was. It was just this F here. I didn't put the F. Also changed some code here, you can see. Also added this circle lawn picture. So that's why in our activity circle, we added a picture image right here and set it to the circle lawn. Here in our finished triangle lawn, we finally finished a triangle. And you can see right here, I still haven't changed any of it to acres yet. That's why you don't see the divided by 43,560. I'm also changing a lot of my code everywhere just to see what would be the best method for converting. And here I just fixed the bug in our triangle. And the reason why was because I set it to circle, activity underscore circle lawn, when I should be triangle lawn. This set the content to the circle. Here we added pictures and changed square feet to acres for all of this. Also added the pictures. And then see the divided by 4360. Also added pictures here of this guy mowing the lawn. And then just an image view. Here we changed some styles, mostly in our themes. You can say added edit text. And this edit text was actually used in a lot of these, you can see. And here. Here we just added bold and changed themes. So this is when you can see the bold text here. I pull it up right here. See the bold text. Here we deleted the action bar, and the action bar is only the top. We did this in the themes XML with no action bar here. So that dark action bar. For our commits, we can see everything on GitHub because we pushed it up here. You can see everything is here. And you can see the commits are from yesterday, and that's because that was the last time I was working on them. And the codes are the same. And also edit it here right now, but I don't want to, so I'm gonna cancel it. Delete it, I can open it, and that's why it's really important for us. So yeah, that's all of it. Thank you for watching.